Alright, so I have some books that I'm in the process of, and some books that just fucking didn't get finished. And just, yeah. So, we're going to talk about first the Wicked Spirits Book of the Month, which was Night Chaser by Amanda Boucher. This is the first book. I always fuck up series names. Hold on. First book in the Endeavor series. This one kind of is more sci-fi than it is urban fantasy, and it features this main character who is kind of this like really, really modern Robin Hood. She's robbing this corrupt government, not just to save her own ass, but to also give to those who are super needy because of this corrupt fucking government. With her, she has her merry band of thieves. They are people who escaped this pretty much high security prison with her, and they are now her crew, for better or for worse. I'm not going to tell you any more about it because we're going to talk about it in our live show, which will probably take place later this month because we're all having scheduling difficulties. But this one will be on Brandy's channel, and I will link her channel down in the description box so you make sure you are following her so you can catch up when we talk about the live show. And I will also be letting you know when that live show is when we have nailed down a date. But I've already read that one. I have not actually read it again yet like I was supposed to. I will be reading it 2 days before we would do the live show so that I have everything in my brain up to date. I could just take notes, but I'd rather it be like fresh. Also, I am in the process of reading The Care and Feeding of Ravenously Hungry Girls by Anissa Gray. I started this one during Blackathon, and I just have not been able to finish it because I ended up picking up a lot of heavy books during Blackathon, and I overdid it a bit, and I was just like, my brain can't take any more of... I couldn't. This, however, is a really good book so far. It is about these parents, both of these parents of these young girls who have gone to jail trying to better their situation, and yet what they did was illegal. Someone in their community, I won't tell you who, actually turned them in, and since what they did actually looks like it may have cheated the community that they have grown up in and around, this close-knit community, like, people are pretty pissed at them. Their children are pretty pissed at them. Their family is falling apart. Like I said, thus far, this is a heavy book. I'm not very far into it, but the audiobook is on point. I think I'm only like page 50. Jesus, take the wheel. But it is narrated. One of the narrators, it's a full cast of narrators, but one of the narrators is actually a lady who narrates Bree's voice in On the Come Up. Still working on that one. A book that I ended up DNFing was The Beast's Heart. Like, I'm so stoked for this book, and I read it. And so The Beast's Heart by Leaf Shallacross is a Beauty and the Beast retelling that takes place in like 19th century France, and it is from the Beast's point of view. It's supposed to be very poetic and brilliant and beautiful and just feel the fantasy, but I was so bored. The pacing in the beginning is god-awful, and I thought from the Beast's perspective, I was supposed to, like, feel what he felt. I was supposed to be angry when he was angry, like, dislike him maybe because of his arrogance or whatever, but he just kind of didn't care. So then when he finally started to care, I wasn't invested in him, and not only that, but even still when he started to care, it just didn't come across very well emotionally. So he would just be talking about something, and it would sound like when Bella went back to Forks and she was bitching because everything was green. It was just like, wah, bitch, Jesus. So it was very that, and I just DNF'd it. And I got pretty far into it, and still, like, he was just on his own, and, like, the pacing, like I said, is horrible. Like, he would talk about how it took him 100 years to learn how to walk upright, but he would spend a long time waxing poetical about it, but then it didn't really come off poetic. It just was, I don't know. It's just something, the pacing is really, really off in the beginning of this one. I do want to try and pick it up again shortly, but, oh my god, so slow. First book I finished in the month of March American Gods by Neil Gaiman. This actually completed the entire, like, author's, like, unedited, unabridged version with all of the bits he wanted left in there, and it's a fucking big book. So I switched back and forth between this one and the audiobook. This is 742 pages. And then I binged the entirety of season 1 of American Gods in preparation for season 2. So in the month of March, I've actually finished American Gods, finished all the episodes of season 1, and now all 4 of the episodes of season 2. Cause babe, I have so many thoughts about it, so many thoughts. But I am happy. I will probably be doing an individual talk about this book because there's a lot to unpack in this bitch. A lot. But all in all, for me, it was a 4-star read. Next up was How to Heal a Heartbreak by Kristen Rockaway. This is an e-galley of a contemporary romance book that I got through a NetGalley. This book is about a woman who works in this kind of startup company with basically a bunch of dude bros, and she gets tired of their shit, so she starts on creating her own company. In this book, she kind of fell into making this a social media page specifically for, like, outing the liars and the shitty people from dating apps, because she got burned a lot through dating apps. I did like the story. It was very cute. However, this book spent a lot of time painting everybody with a penis as being an awful person. Like, nobody had any other reasons for anything. It just literally, they were a male, so they were awful. And then to get her point across, all of the males felt like caricatures. Like, they were the worst portrayals of men that she could think of. Like, everyone at this startup was a liar, talked to her shitty, the bosses didn't have her back, HR didn't have her back, like, but even, like, it wasn't like a lack of effort, it was just like all of them were going out of their way, and it was just very mustache twirly, very sexist and misogynist, which I know was the point, but there was no subtlety into it. It was just like, she's clubbing motherfuckers over the head with it, and it got to be a lot, because when every character was this over-exaggerated portrayal, there were no subtleties, there were no nuances, and it just got really old very quickly. So just something to be aware of. Otherwise, the story is cute and the romance is cute, but it's everybody in there was very extra. Very extra. I think that took it down to about a 3.5-star read for me. Okay, camera died. It is now gotten dark out, so hopefully my lighting isn't too jacked. Alright, the next book that I read was A Prince on Paper. This is the 3rd book in the Reluctant Royal series by Alyssa Cole, and I was approved for an arc through NetGalley, and I read this, like, in one sitting, one day. Didn't go to sleep until 2 a.m. So in this one, this is a love story between Nia Jeremy, who is Letty from the first book. It is her long-lost cousin, and Prince Johann, who is the notorious bad boy, always, like, flipping off the paparazzi, nude in front of the paparazzi, all kind of extra crazy shit. Everybody kind of thinks that he's this one-dimensional, just like a pervert character, but he does it all for a reason, and it's to keep the attention off of and to protect his underage younger brother, who is in fact the heir to the crown. These were some pretty nuanced characters, and I'm here for it. And when I tell you that this book is diverse all up and down, left, right, and sideways. So Nia Jeremy is I don't know, she's from Deloso, which is the African country the Biso and now Naledi will be ruling. She is from that royal family, and then Johann is of Lichtenberg, which is like this country that's like a mix of like French and German aspects. Johann is also bisexual. There is a transgender character there. It's just pretty widespread across the board. And then the only thing that I like is that Alyssa does not stray away from addressing those things in her books. There is an interracial couple, like both sides, all the difficulties that will come with that are going to be brought up and addressed somewhere. I cannot give like a full-fledged review until closer to release date, Release date for this one is April 30th, so maybe like a week before I'll either be typing up on Goodreads or on Twitter somewhere my full, like, all my thoughts in this book. But arcs are generally, most of them, and this was the same, asked not to release an interview, not an interview, Jesus Christ, a review until a week prior. So it is still a Duke by default. It's still my favorite just because I loved Portia so much, which I did not expect I was going to. But this one is pretty high up there, but Duke by default is still my favorite. I'll say A Duke by Default is still number 1, Prince of Paper is number 2, and then Princess in Theory would be number 3. That is just out of the full-length novels. I have not read either of the novellas yet. There is an arc for the one with Portia's twin sister, who is Wilshire bound, so there's more diversity there. I don't know the title of that one yet. And then there is already released, I think, Once Ghosted Twice Shy, which is, now I can't think of their names, but it is a sapphic romance between Thabiso's attaché. I can't think of her name at the moment. I have it, I just need to read it. Novellas always make me nervous because romance stories are already pretty fast paced on the romance end, and then in novellas they go so much more. So sometimes, a lot of the times they're hit or miss for me, so I'm scared to read it. My dog is kicking a book, excuse me. Anywho, all that to say, I gave A Prince on Paper 5 stars. Next book that I read was Aurora Rising by J. Kristoff. I am thirsty, so I directly asked the publisher for an arc of this, and it was fucking phenomenal. I did not expect to like it this much. Like, I read Illuminate, I liked it, but for me, Illuminate, the draw in Illuminate was more so towards the creativity in the formatting than it was in the story. I liked the story, but I was really intrigued by the different formatting, and it was really fun. And this one, like, it was standard story format, third person, I think, or first person narrative, switching between all the characters. But oh my god, the story just, I don't know what the hell it was. This story sucked me in. It gave me, like, Farscape. It gave me Defiance. These are sci-fi shows I'm talking about. It gave me, like, Battlestar Galactica a little bit. And it didn't, like, a lot of the times I always say that it was, like, Wi-Fi, which is what I call YA sci-fi. It's just, it always misses the mark for me. This one was 100% dead on. I freaking loved it. Aurora Rising comes out May 7th, so I can't say much about that either, but the plot of this one. So, Aurora Rising, the year is 2380. It's 2380. Tyler Jones is basically the top cadet in the Aurora Flight Academy. Is it called Aurora Flight Academy? Aurora Academy, whatever. This space age, like, military school, so to speak. They're getting ready to do this draft in which, since he is a top of the top, he will get to pick who's going to be in his team. At the last minute, he decides to kind of just go for a flight to calm his nerves, wherein he answers a mayday call and he comes upon Aurora, who is stuck in cryosleep. Aurora is a human girl who left Earth over 100 years ago with the intent to go to this colony where this newly built colony on this uninhabited planet. She was going to meet her father and some other people there, and she never made it. Why she never made it is a mystery. Not only is why she never made it part of the mystery, but what even happened to that planet, because as far as Tyler and everyone in 2380 knows, that planet was never the goal. Like, the ship that Aurora was on is slated in the history books to have been headed somewhere else. So Aurora is now the only survivor, and as such, like, she needs to be questioned and or silenced. So you can imagine where that leads to. So there is a lot of kind of mystery there. There is a lot of, we get these group of kids, these newly graduated people who are on the run. And not only, did Tyler miss the draft, saving Aurora from cryosleep, but since he missed the draft, he got essentially the dregs of everybody else. But this crew has now become a found family because they don't have any other choice, because now, basically the rest of the galaxy is on their asses because they have this woman with them who others are trying to capture, and they have to band together or get their asses blown to smithereens. It's a really good book. That was probably a really crappy summary of it, but I'm trying to be non-spoilery. It doesn't come out until May, but oh my fucking god, it just blew my goddamn socks off. It had just the right recipe with the sci-fi, with the action, with the mystery, with the romance, with the wit and quips and humor as relief. Like, it was a perfect blend. Everything was in just the right amount. I fucking loved it. It was very much, I can't think of the show, Dark Matter. In Dark Matter, the one where everybody kind of woke up on the ship and you're like, who the fuck are all these people? What the hell is going on? It's like a blend of Dark Matter and The Expanse, and just pre-order it, okay? It's good. Next up, I read The Matchmakers List by Sonia Lally. This was another arc that I needed to finish. Obviously, this one is not an arc anymore. I got it from the library. That's how long I had, like, the e-arc. It's that I just went and got the physical freaking book because the arc had expired. Whoops. But I still needed to review it, so I read it, and then I kind of wish I didn't. So, The Matchmakers List by Sonia Lally. This book is about Raina, who essentially is getting ready to turn 30. Not essentially, she is getting ready to turn 30. And what the issue is she comes from a traditional Indian background, and her grandmother wants her to be married. She's constantly getting compared to family members, and now, you know, because you're getting close to this age, why don't you have a nice Indian husband? We're going to set you up. Raina really doesn't want to go along with it, but she does. It's a really cute story, kind of up until about somewhere between 40 and 60% of the book, of the way through the book. Raina decides to circumvent the wishes of her super traditional grandmother, like get her off her case as far as matchmaking by pretending to be a lesbian. That really kind of, I didn't care for that. Also, like, why would that not also, if your family is super traditional in that manner, I would have thought that would have, either way, is going to be drama, and there was drama. And then what happened was that because she made up this story, there were characters who were actually LGBTQ who came out to her, and the situation was just very bad because when he found out later that she lied, obviously he was very hurt and upset. Because when he did that, she just faked the funk. She didn't even say, you know, right then and there. She didn't even say, you know, right then and there, like, she didn't try to stop him. She didn't say, oh, no, I'm not actually gay. I just didn't want my family to think XYZ, or I wanted them off my case. No, she just went with it and rode the punches and then ended up hurting a lot of people. It's just like that. If you were going to do that, you could have just told grandma no, or I don't know. It's just the way they chose to do that bugged me. And then she went a very long time, like up until like the last, like very, very last, eensy-weensy last, can you stop? Bit of the book before she corrected before she told everybody. And I just, and there weren't any repercussions for her lying other than, you know, the poor, gay kid who she lied to, who was really, really hurt, and then like had to come out to the rest of his family before he was ready to because of her actions. I just didn't care for that one. So I think I rated it what did I rate it? I rated it a 3. The story was really cute. It was keeping me in up until that, and I was just like, nah. And then I skimmed it to complete it, and it's just like, it just got worse. And there was no character growth. There were no repercussions from her action. It just bugged me. Really just kind of made my skin crawl. I feel like there were probably better ways to handle that. And then lastly, I finished I Want You Back by Lorelei James. This was also an arc that I got from NetGalley. This one comes out today, April 2nd. No, yesterday, April 2nd. I don't know when you did not just pee in the corner. I don't know when I'm posting this. So, I Want You Back comes out, or came out on April 2nd. It's April 1st today. Damn it. It is the first book in the Want You series by Lorelei James. I have read work by Lorelei James before. I have some Amazon Kindle Unlimited. I don't know, they're cowboy books, but her writing is very steamy, typically, and I really like it. So the premise of this book is that Jackson Lund is a former NHL player. At the height of his career, he met Lucy, and together they had a child, and then he proceeded to basically make a series of very, very bad decisions that fucked that relationship up. And then he almost ruined a relationship with his child, but in doing that, he continued to ruin his relationship with Lucy. Now that he has got his alcoholism, that's one of the bad things that happened to him. Now he has his alcoholism under control. He has stopped his womanizing and his cheating and all this other stuff. He has moved back home to try to be a better parent to Mimi and to kind of try to fix his very broken relationship. Not even just a relationship, they're trying to co-parent. He's trying to fix that relationship first. Lucy just wants to co-parent. He actually wants his relationship back with Lucy because he was never as right emotionally, exempting the cheating. He never felt as whole as when he was with her. There was just pretty much a series of bad circumstances that then led to him making very bad decisions because he was really distraught by, them living apart, being in a long distance relationship, and he essentially let pressure get to him. In all of this, I do like, it is a very, very cute second chance romance story, and I do appreciate that a lot of the decisions that they made with co-parenting were very much child-oriented toward Mimi. Mimi was always first, except for this one instance at the end, which is very weird. One of the things that I really like about the story is the character growth. We get a lot of character growth from both Lucy and Jackson, not only in the time they were apart, but once they kind of come back together. Not only do you see growth in the way that they co-parent, but we see growth in the way that they adult. And then we get to see growth in the way they interact with each other, putting all the hurt aside, talking, about all that hurt, what led to it, how they can fix it, whether or not they wanted to get back together, and how they could best do that without continuing to bring old hurt up. I really appreciated that. It was a great second chance romance story, and I really like Lorelai James's writing. The only thing that made me cringe was there was this moment at the end where everything was kind of rushed, and they acknowledged that, hey, let's just get back together. Mimi hasn't seen us together at all now, but I don't want to wait anymore. Let's just move in together, and we won't really worry about how it's going to upset her because we want this. And then, understandably, poor kid backslid some, and I don't know, I just feel like they were very careful throughout the whole book about how they do things with her in the last 10th of the book, so that everything was like nuclear, like a nuclear family setup towards the end. They just like went from 0 to 100, and it just wasn't cohesive with the pacing of the rest of the book, though I understand like it was wrapping up everything before the book actually ended. There's also this statement made about STDs that was handled, I feel, kind of stupidly, and it just really just made me roll my eyes. But that being said, I still gave the book 4 stars because I really enjoyed it. Those few very minute things aside. This dog is killing me, yo. He's killing me. And then that was the last book that I finished for the month of March. So that was just 5 books, and then the ones that I have in process. I am also still reading Prayer of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon. It is a huge book. It is very daunting to me right now. I don't know why, so I'm still finishing that. I'm also working on, well, it doesn't matter. You'll find out in my April wrap-up whether I finished them or not. But yeah, this dog's driving me freaking crazy. I don't know what's wrong with him today. It's like he got his head in a barrel of sugar, and I can't get anything done because he's jumping on the couch, he's digging in my plants, he's knocking my orchids over, he'll pee in the corner even though he's puppy pad trained now. He does never have accidents, he just don't want to be locked in here. I let him out, he goes and rams the fish tank. Like, he is off the chain today. Look at him, now he's just trying to bite me. Get down. And then I let him down, he's just biting my feet. So I can't think anymore. It's getting dark. The camera image is getting wonky. I can tell the color is getting thrown off. I'm losing all patience. Oh, now you want to lay on the carpet. Fucker. Alright, I am scratched up. Feet, hands, forearms, ankles. I'm at the end of my rope here. I believe just kicked my laptop over. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will catch you later.